What's up, everyone? We are live. Let me tell everyone in our private Discord channel that we're live also. We'll need to post this everywhere, but it's Nate and Chuck with Good Morning Liberty. Chuck, how's it going?
So, going great, man.
Is it going great?
I don't know.
Is it going just like you thought it was going to go?
I just saw some numbers from Iowa. It looks like, does it look like Harris is currently leading Iowa?
Well, so when the numbers first start getting reported, you have to be careful because a lot of these states are reporting their early votes and their mail-in votes first. And in fact, I have it pulled up here. We can look what Iowa does. Let's see here. When the mail-in ballot processing can begin. We've got the day before the election day. When the counting can begin. We've got on election day, the time set by the commissioner. Complete the count of absentee ballots by 10 p.m. on election day. And
that's all
I guess we're not there. I'm guessing, yeah, that's what we had there. I'm guessing that's what's happening. But you know, I said that there could be something crazy that happens, like a state that we weren't thinking about, and there was that poll from Iowa that had Kamala up by 3 points.
One poll.
I wouldn't, we can't rule anything right now. It's still super early, but right now we have Trump ahead by 5% in Georgia with 77% of the votes in, and that includes Fulton County, which has 78%. This is according to Reuters. And then let's see, the county next door, DeKalb County, 77% of the votes counted. And those are really some of the heavy populated counties. And what I've seen here looks like Kamala's running about how Biden ran in Fulton County right now. So I have 2020 pulled up here. And I can go into Fulton, 72.6 to 26.2. And right now it's 72.6 to 26.5. So
that's almost exactly the same.
Pretty close right now. But from what I was hearing earlier, there's a lot of counties where Trump's actually overperforming. I would say right now it's going better for Trump than what I expected it to go. Let's see. Let me
Currently,
make sure.
He's about, according to Fox News, he's about 4 million up on the popular vote.
Yeah,
now.
4 million up right now.
So
it would be pretty crazy if he ends up winning the popular vote and losing the Electoral College. Florida, as I was just saying on the Human Reaction podcast, Florida was surprising to me. 89% of the votes counted, and Trump is up over 13%. In Florida, the polls, the average on 538 had him up 6.6 is what they had. So, it doesn't mean 6.8, 6.6 is what they have. Doesn't mean that all the other states are going to be like that. But so far, that is a very big poll miss. And what's crazy to me is Miami-Dade County in Florida, 87% of the votes in. He is up by almost 12% in Miami-Dade County, Florida, which is over 60% Hispanic. I saw 70% of the households speak a language other than English.
Also a county that Ron DeSantis flipped as well, by the way. So
was it really?
Yes.
Okay.
Ron DeSantis won that county as well pretty handedly in the last election. So keep that in mind. What I can tell here, probably the Republicans have done some gerrymandering.
It's probably they stole votes actually
through the slums would be my guess.
Mm-hmm.
We kind of just started right in on saying this. We forgot to mention that. I mean, this is really scary. Okay, this is the election of our lifetime.
It's the last. It's the last one.
This is the last one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
For both sides said it was.
It doesn't matter
election.
who wins.
It's the last one.
This is it.
I mean,
just wanted to get our fear mongering in there. This is the most important election of our lifetimes. And are we going to have a president in there, or are we going to have a woman in there? Okay.
Yeah.
That's the choice here.
Look at Dallas County, Texas. I know Texas, obviously Republican stronghold, all that kind of stuff. Right now, Texas is looking plus 11% for Trump with 67% of the votes counted. Dallas County Currently, I just want to check. I don't know what the answer is yet. He's up by, or Kamala is winning Dallas County by 23%. And let me see what old Biden won that. So he had 23% in Dallas County. He won that by 32%, 31 and some change. And she's up by 23 with almost 70% of the votes in. So there's just some surprising outcomes, but at the end of the day, all that matters is what happens in the swing states. But it's like, from what I'm seeing in some of these red states, if Trump does end up winning, I think he wins the popular vote too. And that would be, I think that's a good thing for the country, even though it's the last election and, Handmaid's Tale and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
That's going to happen. But
women's body suffrage somehow.
At least if he wins the popular vote too, you kind of kill that argument. Our home state of Tennessee in 2020, Trump won it by 23%. And let's just look at Tennessee. I'm just talking about states where more people went out and voted, even though they didn't have to, Like, we didn't have to go vote today. We knew that if our preferred candidate, Trump, was going to win our state. But both of us went and stood in line today, and so that kind of gauges some excitement for people. It was 23 in the year 2020.
He's up by 38.
He's up by 38 right now in Tennessee. 38. Wowza. Let's see here. But of course, where I live, he is down. He is down considerably.
Oh, so you're 31. One of those 69,000.
He's down by 31%.
Let's look at my county.
But hey, let me check and see what that was.
Go to Williamson County there.
31. He lost by 32. So doing a little bit better in Davidson County. What's your county?
Williamson.
There.
Ooh.
Okay, so he won by 32% so far in Williamson. RFK got 1,000 votes in Williamson County.
Look at that.
Tennessee.
How about that? They said none ya.
Yeah. All right, let's look at some
Nate's
of the important states.
I just want you guys to hear real quick. Nate's being all serious, looking at the data. I'm here.
I have been waiting for months to look at this data.
I'm here.
I just want to see it.
Well, I just want everyone to know that, Nate is missing the most important part of this live stream on election night, which is him and I have a bet. And that's what's most important. That's what we're going to find out tonight. Who owes who money?
Who owes who money? You guys
and neither one of us have any money.
We don't have to go through Polymarket.
No.
We make our own odds.
And I predicted a long time ago that unless the Democrats were able to pull someone like Michelle Obama to run, that Trump would win handedly, especially after they tried to assassinate him. I have been calling that Trump is going to win. I've said that probably 6 months ago, at least 100 days ago when they announced Kamala.
Now you're going to start saying her name
Kamala.
Right. Kamala. Now you're going to start saying it on their way out the door.
Nate has been thinking that, of course, with the election rigging, with all of the mail-in ballots and counting that it's going to happen at 2:00 in the morning,
of course,
on November 6th, 2024, that Kamala is going to win somehow still. So we've placed, 3 or 4 years ago, this would have been a lot of money, but now we placed a $100 bet, which get you a loaf of bread.
It's a good thing we didn't bet $100 in 2019 money.
I know.
That would have been too much. Couldn't have done that.
Because now this is just really,
it's really like
we're betting a loaf of bread and a couple dozen eggs.
Yeah. It's really like an $85 bet now. That's really all it is. So Loudoun County, Virginia. Let's look at Virginia right now. Trump's up in Virginia by a point at the moment. I'm not saying he's going to win Virginia, but he is up by a little less than the point with 62% of the votes in. And what's interesting in some of these states, they bring in the early votes, the mail-in votes sooner, which typically Democrats have an edge on that. And then the in-person on day of votes end up chipping away at that lead. So Virginia right now, he's got a little less than a point lead. We'll see. You got areas like Charlottesville, where there's only 43% of the votes in. Loudoun County, Virginia, we've heard a lot of news from there. Kamala's up by 16, and I wanted to look and see a lot of political stuff happening there around Loudoun County. Up by 16. Biden went up by 25. Okay, so a little bit of an underperformance there. And just so you know, Charlie, if we do run out of stuff to say, I currently have one of the MSNBC streams. I've got NBC pulled up. This just looks like CNN, just watching as ballots are counted. And this is CBS here. So let me see if this dude on the NBC is talking right now. Let's see here. Do you think maybe I should send it through the right audio though?
Are these like backdoor feeds?
Yeah, they are.
You have?
I don't see. No, he's not talking right now. Does this help for the background while we're giving this information though?
Oh, yeah, we need that. Gotta have that.
There we go.
Let's see what the live group is saying. Apparently, Kamala is pronounced, but they're saying words I cannot repeat currently. So, looks like a few people are saying, one person here said, I've always voted Democrat. I almost voted RFK, but I voted Trump in Tennessee. How about that?
How about that? You want to give that person's name?
I voted Trump for the first time as well. So, look, I still don't like Trump as a person. But when it comes to what's at stake in this election, if you haven't...
The music in the background.
If you haven't listened to the show, this is your first time tuning in perhaps on our election night coverage live. We've talked extensively about the fact that we haven't been Trump fans since he started running in 2015, basically.
Mm-hmm.
He spent a lot of money during his presidency, which we don't like. We've given the information.
Yeah.
Go listen to the episodes. But what's going on in this election is what we've talked about on the show, being that the left is so far gone and they're constantly lying and gaslighting and manipulating, and that you just can't stand for it anymore. I mean, they're basically going on air saying that, I mean, they literally put out the assassination attempt was a hoax.
They talked about it.
They've talked about that it's potentially he would set this up somehow.
But it's firing squads, it's fine people, it's murderers and rapists, it's dictator on day one, it's enemy within. All of those things are lies, just things taken
Hitler
wildly
generals.
out of context. Well, we don't know for sure whether or not he said that about.
You just got to believe John Kelly.
You just have to believe one single person. And so, you know, I just can't stand for those lies, and I think it's you can frame it as protection for libertarians. If you ever have a libertarian candidate run on a libertarian platform saying libertarian things about chicken hawks and spending and cutting welfare programs and all that, like, imagine how they're going to take all that stuff out of context and run with it. I want them to learn that that's not the way to do this. I want to learn that it doesn't work, that the American people aren't going to fall for it. And that is why. Sorry. The music, just get me going. Milwaukee County, Wisconsin. That's where Madison is. No, it's Milwaukee, actually.
Yeah.
That's where Milwaukee is.
See Madison just to your left there.
42% of the votes in.
This is why we haven't gotten a spot on Fox yet.
Yeah. I think this would do really well on Fox.
Yeah, it would.
He's down by 36.4 right now in Milwaukee, and that's something Biden won by 40 points. And the early votes, some of these states, the early votes, the mail-in votes are getting counted first. How does Wisconsin do it? After the polls open, that's when they can start counting. So maybe they haven't dumped all of them. See, when Florida dumped theirs, the margins were a lot narrower because Florida's got this stuff figured out. They already had all the counts done. They just dumped all of them. And so that was like the best the Democrats did. That was the best Kamala did right then when they first started reporting. And then all the day of votes started coming in. And it went from 7% margin to 14 now, or something like that. Let's see what this guy's saying.
Let's check in with this guy. He's inside.
It's kind of unclear in a lot of these counties. We just don't have enough to say. But one county where we're getting real close, and I think is going to be a very big indicator here, we've talked about this, is Lackawanna County, where Scranton is, and now 90% of the vote is in. And we were looking at this a few minutes ago, and we were saying again that we expected Trump to close, to cut into the lead that Harris had. It was at about 6.5, 7 before. Now with 90%, and you can see he's cut it a little bit. It's down to 5 points. And remember what we're looking for in Lackawanna County. There's two very different ways this has played out in the last two elections. In 2016, Donald Trump got close to only about 3 points behind here. He won the state of Pennsylvania. In 2020, Democrats with Joe Biden came in and won this by more than 8 points. Biden won the state. So we were saying at the start of the night, Trump wants this number, Democrats want that number. Right now, it's sitting right in between them. It's sitting at 5. So there's still some same day to come in. Let's see this remaining 10%, what that does to this margin. Again, the same day seems to be favoring Trump. How much is it going to favor Trump? Is it going to bring it down back to this level completely? Is it going to stabilize? But that's the most complete county we have in Pennsylvania right now. And I think we said at the start of the night, it's a very key one, because this region where Scranton is, where Lackawanna County is, this is very contested political terrain. I could just show you some of the other counties here. Luzerne County, this is where Wilkes-Barre is. This is also where the city of Hazleton is. Hazleton is a majority Hispanic city. Donald Trump actually won Hazleton in 2020. Again, Trump campaign thinks it can make more gains with Hispanic voters. If they do, you'll see it here. About half the vote is in Luzerne County. And again, the same day is what's still to come here. So Trump's leading by 8 points now. He won this county by more than 14 in 2020. Question for the Trump campaign wants to get over that number. They want to improve on that number here. If the Democrats can stop them from doing that, that's a big development for Democrats. We want to go back and look at Georgia because, again, and Joy was just talking about this, the suburban support for Democrats in this Atlanta metro area. Something interesting is happening. There are some suburban counties here. You call them kind of the emerging suburbs of the Atlanta metro area, where the growth is the fastest and the diversification is the most dramatic. And that is definitely where Harris is posting improvements tonight. I think we showed you Douglas County a few minutes ago. Again, rapid growth here. It's about half black. And you can see in 2020, 25 points. Tonight, Harris is winning this by 32 points. You see it in Rockdale County. Just about all of the vote is in here. Biden got 70%. Harris has pushed that up to 73. This is a majority black county. You can go to Newton County here. You know, this was the tightest margin of all these Atlanta metro counties. This was the tightest margin for a county that Democrats won almost all in 2020. Almost all the vote is in. Harris has improved on it. You see this. You could take a look at Henry County. Almost 80% of the vote is in. Again, Biden won it by 20. Look at that. That's up to 30 or so for Kamala Harris. So the thing is, though, the counties I just showed you within this Atlanta metro region, relatively speaking, these are the lesser populated counties. The ones with the huge, the huge populations, you start with Fulton County, and we've been monitoring this. This is the biggest. Atlanta's here, but there's also a lot of suburbs within Fulton County. This is key for Democrats because of the sheer size of Fulton County. A drop of a couple points here would more than offset the gains that I just showed you in those other counties. 80% counted in Fulton County, and now you see Biden 72.6 in 2020. Harris has fallen a tick below that. Meanwhile, Trump 26.2 here in 2020 is a tick above his 2020 number. The concerning thing for Democrats here in massive Fulton County is with only 80% counted, there is still a significant, obviously, amount of same-day vote to come in. And you just saw, if you were watching earlier, this has gotten a little bit tighter. The Democrats have dropped a little bit since the last time we looked at this. That's because more same-day came in, and Harris fell below that Biden number. There's room for her to drop further here. And again, you know, just 1-2 points in Fulton County offsets a lot of the good Democrats might have done themselves in those other counties I just showed you. So see what happens there. We also have, look at this, Douglas, Cobb County. We also have, look at this, getting close in Cobb County again. Take a look at 2020 here. Joe Biden won this by 14 points. Now, right now, it's basically a 15-point margin. This is another one where that margin for Democrats was bigger earlier. It's come down as more same day has come in. And you know, Cobb is a massive, massive county. Again, it's much bigger than any of those others that I just showed you. 82%, more same day to come. That's concerning for Democrats if it starts dropping below that. And then Gwinnett County, this is the one that's been the slow one here in the region tonight. We're still where we were. So there's sort of a division here we're seeing between these suburban and metro counties here. Again, there's some clear Democratic growth, but they don't want slippage in those big ones as the remaining vote comes in. And again, just checking in, we showed you Cherokee. These are the big Republican sort of fringe
Atlanta
let's
pause
metro
this
counties.
guy.
Here's one, Forsyth County.
Pause this guy. I think what he's trying to say here is that within the different counties matter.
They do. The counties are they're different and they matter. We know that.
Yeah.
I think Trump's going to end up winning Georgia. So far, it's looking maybe like Pennsylvania is the most concerning one.
For Trump.
Yes. Yes.
Now, I did say this. I think Pennsylvania is really important for Trump to win.
It's that is a bold statement.
I said this, a month ago that Pennsylvania might be the deciding factor. So, with what's going on right now, we've got to go back to, what you and I have been discussing. How confident do you feel about Kamala winning at this point?
So as anyone, if you're listening right now and you don't listen to the show every day, which you should, we do a show every single day of the week when we want to on your favorite podcast app called Good Morning Liberty, 1,401 episodes so far. So I have been saying since they installed Kamala, post-Biden coup, that Kamala was going to win. And I truly believe that because I have felt like if they want her to win, then they will find a way for her to win, whoever they are. I'm not sure. I would be very, very white-pilled if they tried really hard and still couldn't do it. That would be awesome. Okay? That would be really cool.
Tried and hard as in like they, tried to assassinate him a few times.
My answer, your question was how confident. I'm much less confident in the Kamala landslide. Right now, since I've said she's going to win over and over again, and we have a $100 bet on, I'm going to talk my book right now is what this is called. If she wins Pennsylvania, she's going to win the election 270 to 268 probably. The way that Georgia's looking, we can look back at. This guy's probably saying some important stuff, but let's not.
Well, the polls just closed in Nevada, and I think Arizona, so I think they're about to pull up those results.
The way things are looking, Georgia 52-47. How's North Carolina right now? 52-46 with 66% of the vote in.
Where's Pennsylvania?
Virginia.
Trump may flip Virginia.
I know Virginia right now. Now who's in here? Like Charlottesville, we've only got 43% of the votes in, and that's going to be. You have to look at the heavily populated areas. Look at, for Virginia Beach City right now, he's winning by 5 points. And I think that's one, if we do the county thing that guy was just doing, I think that's one that Biden won. Virginia Beach, Biden won that by 5 points. And right now, Trump is up by 5 points. So that's interesting.
That's an interesting flip.
It's only 35% of the vote in so far. So
here's something else interesting for you, real quick. I don't think many people are talking about this.
Look at Pennsylvania now. Oh wow,
that is as close as it gets.
49.6 to 49.5.
Separated by 2,500 votes.
Chase is covering the spread right now in Pennsylvania
with 0.5%.
Libertarians might screw this up after all. I'm kidding. You should always earn someone's vote.
Real quick, let's talk about something many people aren't talking about, which is right now, the Republicans have flipped a Senate seat. So
they did flip West Virginia.
So it looks.
Who else did they flip?
Just one so far. But I think that's important to look at when it comes to the Senate races. Yep, the West Virginia Senate. So we could see a slight majority of Republicans.
Hey, how's Lily Tang Williams doing in New Hampshire? Anyone have any counts on that right now? Anyone seen that? Let's go check that out for all the libertarians out there.
Oh, yeah, right there.
Yeah, I can't. It's alphabetical. let's see here. Kamala's got a slight edge here in New Hampshire. Governor's race. Wait, hold on a sec. Is the Republican currently winning? Okay. U.S. House. There she
Willie
is.
Tang.
There she is. 53.1 to 46.8. 25% of the votes in right now. So that's cool. So she's the one who got up and asked that question during the debate between David Hogg and Spike Cohen, and asked if he could guarantee that the government would never become tyrannical. And he said, no, I can never guarantee that. And she said, well, the debate on gun control is over after that. So that was a really cool moment for her. And she's running as a Republican. She's definitely a libertarian. She's a free stater libertarian. And so that's one that I want to see win. And let's get back to some of these other results right now.
Hey, welcome, Liberty Lunatic, new to Fed Haters Club, longtime listener.
Thank you for
joining.
coming. Thank you for coming. We appreciate you. And
be kind. Well, actually, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter whether you're kind or not in this group. This is the Fed Haters Club. So
Lacey said the transit tax passed. Are you serious? Hold on a sec. I don't have anything pulled up that's going to give me state information specifically. Can someone get me a confirmation on that? Some of the Charlie, you going to pull that up?
Yep.
Okay, let's see if the transit tax passed. Oh, it looks like Kamala won Illinois. That's too bad.
Yeah.
What's Illinois look like? Oh God, there's too much blue in there. Come on, Illinois, represent. Let's go to our home. Yep. Let's go to my.
It looks like this was called 44 minutes ago. That the transit plan, overwhelmingly, with 130,000 plus voter margin in support and 69,000 against. So
God bless.
This is going to raise the Davidson County sales tax from 9.25 to 9.75.
That's awesome.
On par with sales taxes in surrounding counties like Williamson County.
That's good stuff.
The $3.1 billion in revenue will fund the construction of 86 miles of sidewalk, 600 upgraded smart traffic signals, and an improved 24/7, 365 bus system with a dozen community transit centers and 17 park and ride facilities. So,
okay, then. I just want to point out that where my family is from, most of my family, Pulaski County, Illinois, Trump won 70%. Okay? Just want to point that out. But unfortunately, they do share a state with Chicago. Now, this is a 67%. Let's just see what the difference is here with Chicago. Let kind of gauge how this is going in these urban centers. I got to use some words. like they do on MSNBC. You know, what percentage black are they? We have to say that. Let's see. Up by 36% in Cook County. And let's see how old Joe did in Cook. Whoa.
Woo. 50.
50%.
50 points.
50. Okay.
It's like the numbers are shifting a bit.
It's, you know.
Now, is this because Democrats hate women? I just want to know.
Because Democrats hate women?
Well, they're not voting for her as much as they did for Biden.
That's what they're sexist.
That's, you know?
Sexist, racist. That's what's going on right now. How's Pennsylvania looking?
Here's the real problem is Democrats don't know what a woman is.
No,
they're confused.
No one does.
I mean, they're confused by Kamala's name.
We can't even say it right.
Yeah, I can't.
Can't.
So then they're confused. Is she a woman?
No one knows.
We don't know. And I think that's the problem. By the way, that's the other reason I voted. I personally voted for Trump. I am so sick of the lies, like boys can be girls and girls can be boys. I just can't. That's the reason. It's the main reason I couldn't even vote for Chase, even though I like Chase on a lot of economic policies.
Mm-hmm.
I've voted Libertarian in 2020, but this entire lie that you can just have surgery and change your sex, I think is so damaging.
Amanda says you want Trumpy lies instead, and the answer is yes. Yeah, we want those.
Well,
instead, they do seem more fundamental when you can talk about changing the sex of a human being. Or I guess gender, that's different. I want to tell you, Pennsylvania right now, Donald Trump currently 47% of the votes in, up by 1.1%. So that's something. Let's see. How's Pittsburgh looking? You got to go to the urban center.
Yeah.
You got to look at those. Pittsburgh, we got 24-ish points ahead for Kamala. How did old Joe do in Pittsburgh? So what we had, 23, 24, something like that?
Yep.
20 for Biden. So she's currently outperforming that. All right. So we know that. Let's ignore that segment, that portion of the night, and pretend like that never happened. Harrisburg, PA. I hear Erie actually is a very important one to look at. Let's see here. Kamala's up by, what's our math on that? 27, 28? Something like that?
Something like that.
28-ish in Erie County. And if we go to 2020, what do we got here? Oh.
Dead even.
Basically dead even. Biden won it by 1. And so we are going to have to give it 31% in. And
how many were in? How many were in for Pittsburgh? What percentage?
Pittsburgh, 71%. 71%.
What's interesting is it seems that some counties are. It seems like Kamala is struggling in some counties, and in other counties, she's actually pulling ahead, like we just mentioned there in Pittsburgh, by a few points.
I'm trying to find one that's got a lot of a high percentage of the votes in, and also has a decent population size. So, for instance, Potter County has over 95% in, but it's only got like 9,000 voters. So 56 of them like Chase. So good job on that. But that is
right now, the live group, the Fed Haters Club, is calling it over.
You think?
For Kamala. Yeah. So
I can't call it yet because of PA. There's so many people in between Harrisburg, Pittsburgh, Philadelphia. Philadelphia's got 44% in, and she's up by 58% right now in Philadelphia. And let's see, which county did I just look at there? Okay, well, that's a lower percentage than what Biden won by, so I guess that's pretty important. Biden won that by 63, but of course they don't have a large percentage in yet. So
it's going to be interesting to see.
How's Butler looking? Where is Butler? Does anyone know? Is that a county? Is that a town?
Butler's just north of Pittsburgh. That right there.
Oh, let's see. In 2020, what?
Where's Butler? Is that
I don't
a town?
know where Butler is. Well, it could be a county. It could be a town. No way of knowing. Let's see here.
Trump is up.
Trump won it by, no, this is 2020. He won it by 32. And let's see how we did as done so far. Where did we say it was?
32.
It's 32.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, 87% in. So, anyhow, let's go back and see if this guy.
Well, can we go back to the Senate race? I think that's actually pretty important.
That's
if
important.
if the Republicans are able to maintain their slight advantage in the House, and then if they're able to gain a seat or two in the Senate, then that makes, if they gain one seat, that makes it dead even.
Mm-hmm.
Or actually, no, that would give them one extra. Right now it's dead even, isn't it?
Yeah, dead even. Let's see here. Right now, we just know the one flip that they have called, which is the West Virginia seat, and that one was pretty expected. Rick Scott in Florida held on to that one.
Ted Cruz held on to his seat.
Looks like Ted Cruz, 67% in.
They've called it
and
some places, and that was, I think, about a week or two ago, they were talking about potentially Ted Cruz maybe having a little bit of issues.
Yeah, there was a poll that had his opponent, Colin Allred, was up by a point in one of the polls, and they're like, oh, Texas is in play, and even it's going to be in play for the presidential race. And that's not really shaping up right now. Let's see. What are some of the... Bear with us. We are dealing with live results here on election coverage 2024.
Showing that Trump is currently up 2 points right now in Pennsylvania that I'm seeing on Fox.
So Montana, not reporting yet. The Montana seat was important. John Tester and Tim Sheehy, that's one of the people we're talking about. What's the other one here? Tammy Byron. We've got, so far, she's winning by 1.5% in Wisconsin. We haven't looked at Wisconsin. What's that looking like?
Close. Dead even.
Kamala, 1.5 right now, 42% of the votes in. Michigan,
3.7 points.
3.7, 18% in, so doesn't really mean anything. Let's see. Anything else?
Go back to Virginia.
0.2.
0.2.
68% in. And that's...
Now, what happens if Trump flips Virginia? Let's walk through that scenario. Can we go to an election map and give Trump the edge in Virginia?
I like it.
And then see if Pennsylvania matters.
Oh, if he doesn't win Pennsylvania?
Yeah, if he doesn't win Pennsylvania.
Let's check that out. I don't have the cool 3D ones that they have on CBS and all that, but let's check it out. We've got... I'm calling... The live group, let's vote. Yes or no? Are we calling it for Georgia? Yes and no. Let's get the votes on that. Are we going to call Georgia?
I'm going to go no right now.
Give me the votes. Well, let's say likely. Let's say leans on Georgia. And what about North Carolina?
He wins.
And then let's put leans blue, leans Kamala for Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, and Michigan. And
she's at 270.
That's 270
but
right.
She's got Virginia.
There. Oh, that's with Virginia, yeah.
That's with Virginia.
Let's say she wins Nevada.
And Trump flips Virginia.
This is an interesting thing.
Look at
that. Look at that. Okay.
That would be an interesting...
So it's tight right now. Clearly, we don't know when they're going to upload that new USB drive.
This is the landslide you wanted, Nate.
But I didn't want a landslide. I called a landslide. I did say there would be a surprise state that could be flipped.
You did say that, but you also thought that there probably was going to be a landslide for Kamala. And so far, it's not looking like it's going to be a landslide. So you're 0 for 1 there. Are you going to go 0 for 2?
I will probably say my landslide idea for Kamala is done.
From the live group, it looks like New York Times right now is a 79% chance of Trump winning. From the New York Times.
Wow. Okay. Let me
posted that in the Fed Haters Club. If you're new to this show, you can go join the Fed Haters Club. Join GML.com.
Guys, if we can get camera angles of lefties crying, I'm not going to bed tonight. I want a camera on Kamala. Just constant. I want to see it.
Now, does she have a glass ceiling venue picked out?
Probably. She probably already posted happy birthday to this future glass ceiling breaker, Let's see here.
Just Amanda saying she wants to see Rachel Maddow.
Oh, God.
Just watch MSNBC there.
So bad. Let's see here. We have a New York Times subscription. I'll show you the live forecast. What do we got here? No, I don't like that. Let's look at this. 52% of the votes in for Pennsylvania is what they're saying. They're saying 51-48 Trump right now.
3-point lead in Pennsylvania.
How is that different?
If Trump wins Pennsylvania, I think it's over.
Yeah. I would
agree. He doesn't win Pennsylvania, then I think he's going to have to win Virginia.
Hey, can someone check in and if you can find some state races? Can you wait? I don't know if they're reporting anything yet. I would love to see how our friend Michael White is doing in Arkansas. Long shot thing, but he's a libertarian running against a Democrat, no Republican. If someone could look that up and just see how he's doing. Let's see here. Yeah, they got Kamala. Where are you guys finding their prediction?
The link was posted in the group.
Okay. And where's that? There we go.
From Lord Liberty.
There it is. There it is. Let me pull this up. Now, of course, anything changes. It just changes afterwards. It's a very technical way of saying it, I know. But
right now they're looking at electoral college estimate of Trump 295, Harris 243, with the popular vote leaning in favor of Trump as well, being up 0.6. That would be absolutely insane.
Wow.
How are you feeling about your prediction, Nathaniel Paul?
Well,
I got to tell you for my sake, you haven't asked me, and I'm feeling pretty good.
I started off by asking you how you felt.
No, but you haven't since we've seen this kind of news.
This doesn't mean
now,
anything.
Of course,
yet.
right now I'm trading, I'm hitting that buy button. Nate's hovering over sell, but if he was actually trading, he would have already sold his position, guaranteed.
That's true.
Yeah,
that's 100% true.
Nate,
listen, I don't want to be that guy, and I'm not saying it's fraud. I'm not saying nothing like that. But I bet you, if we would have been live on election night in 2020. We would have all been talking pretty much the same way from right now until we went to bed. Okay?
I don't think so.
And so everyone needs to keep that in mind. The Kamala truck's probably just late pulling up to the barn.
So now you're alleging. So now you're saying that Trump was right, that the election was stolen in 2020.
I'm not saying that's fraud. I'm just saying that, they're human beings and they can do a bad job at their job, and someone gets caught in traffic. They got a whole truck full of ballots back there, and you just don't know. And what I'm saying is, I bet a lot of you probably remember feeling like this on election night in 2020. So keep that in mind. That's all I'm saying.
Trump seems to be gaining ground in popular Democrat states. It looks like, according to Nate Cohen, the chief political analyst, scroll up a little bit, that the race for the popular vote is truly a toss-up. And Trump currently has run well all over the country. If that trend continues in California and New York, where the vote count is still early, there's a distinct chance he could win it. So even if the Democrats do win that state, it seems as if Trump is getting more votes in those types of states.
They just called DC for Kamala. That's a shocker. Did they flip? Did she flip that? Just kidding. That's everyone voting for their jobs. Let's see. What do they have here for Michigan? Estimated what? Chance of winning. They have lean right for Michigan right now?
They do.
Must be based on, some of the counties that aren't reporting yet. Whew. This is going to be something, man. If this happens. They got 74% Arizona, 86% North Carolina, 93% Georgia.
It seems as if
right
Georgia's
now.
Over, according to the New York Times.
I tried to call it, and you guys said not to.
We can't call it yet, I don't think.
No, we don't want to ruin our credibility. They have Nevada. Now, I don't know if we have any information on these yet. Do we have votes in for any of these? We don't have anything for Nevada. Arizona, we got 49% in, and we got Kamala up by
1.9.
Chase with 7,000 votes. Let's see. We've got Flagstaff, Phoenix, 51% reporting. What do we got here? Kamala up by, man, I can't math tonight. Was that 26%? Up by 26%.
26, 27, 26.9.
Coconino.
Coconino
County. What was that? 26%? And let's see how that went.
26.9.
Biden
24
went up by 23. Right now we got 26. But as I've said several times, if Arizona is one of those states that dumps in their early votes, right when they start showing their vote totals, let's see, Arizona, They can start processing them upon receipt. Tallying can begin immediately after processing, but results may not be released before all precincts have reported or 1 hour after the close of polls on election day. Releasing information earlier is a felony. So they might have released their early vote information. And of course, we know that typically leans Democrat. Got Trump up by 53% in Mojave County. And let's see. He had 52%, 51.3% in 2020. Okay. So we got that. Let's see if this guy's talking. Is he talking right now? He's not talking right now. This guy, I like this guy. Seems like a good data nerd, you know? Which is something I like. Let me see if anyone's freaking out. I want to see someone freaking out. That's really what I'm here for. Let's go to NBC.
Trump won in 2016. Biden flipped it in 2020. Right now, 47% of the votes in. We want to dive a little deeper and look at some of these counties. We're going to start with the biggest one, Milwaukee. Again, we're still waiting for a lot of the vote in Milwaukee. We're expecting this a little later in the night. 51% is in. Let's see how Harris is doing compared to Biden 4 years ago. She's down about 3 points, 3 or 4 points, 2 points, actually, we should say. But we're still waiting on the vote there. Let's go over to Madison. This is Dane County. This is where the University of Wisconsin is. This is one of the fastest growing areas of the state here. 75% for Biden in 2020. She's 2 points down, but again, 75% of the vote is still out. Let's talk about the Republicans now. We talk about the WOW counties. These are the counties around Milwaukee. The first one, Waukesha here.
He sounds
Trump's
depressed,
at 59.6. 77% of the vote is in. He's slightly underperforming by a percentage point or two. Let's go over here to the O and WOW, Ozaki, 55. He's at 54. So, a slight change, but almost around the same margins. And then Washington doing much better. 50% of the vote is in, 49. He was at 68 in 2020. He's now up to 70. The other part where they do well in the other part of the state, in Green Bay, it's called the BOW. So, yes, it's the BOW counties and the WOW. Bow wow. I know that's pretty funny, but maybe it's not that funny. Anyways, Brown is Green Bay.
It'll pass.
Trump is 52%. He's up big time here. But again, only 33% of the vote is in. And there are a lot of Democratic votes in Green Bay as well. We're going to come down here to the O and BOW, Outagamie, 54-57. Again, he's overperforming there. And then finally in Winnebago, 36%. I want to show 2 more counties you guys may have heard of. You may not have. Racine, these are suburbs of Milwaukee, getting closer to Chicago. These were counties that Trump flipped from Obama, and then he held them 4 years later. 15% in. Trump was at 51.68. That's a strong number for him. We go to Kenosha, which has been in the headlines, especially after the George Floyd protests. 50% in 2020, 73% in. He's overperforming there. So if you're looking at Wisconsin right now, I mean, the Republicans have some sort of positivity here that they're looking at. Sauk County is one of these counties that we watch that usually picks the winner of Wisconsin. Sauk is one, and Dorr is the other one. You've probably heard of Dorr if you've been following the political headlines lately. Our data at a Dorr is a little skewed right now, so we're going to wait till the numbers get corrected there for right now. But Sauk County we can look at. 48% is in. Biden won this in 2020. Trump won it in 2016. 47-50. You can see Trump's overperforming there. But again, still a lot of the vote is out. We're going to have to wait and see and what happens. And in case you're wondering, Sauk County, home of the International Clown Hall of Fame. So if you ever want to go down there and you're near
this guy
Madison,
knows his stuff.
That's probably where Kamala's going to go after this election, I bet.
Fact alert from Tom. Welcome to the fun facts.
Let me see if they're freaking out. I want to hear
Let's
it.
go to Stephanie Gosh. She's in Philadelphia and Pennsylvania. A lot of hopes riding on Pennsylvania for the Harris campaign. What do you know?
Yeah, there certainly are, Savannah. We are here in Philadelphia at the tabulation center. This is where they're going through all those mail-in ballots. And, we've been noticing in recent weeks and months kind of a lessons learned category from 4 years ago. And this place is a perfect example of some of those lessons that have been learned. You may remember in 2020, the tabulation of the mail-in ballots in Philadelphia took place in downtown Philadelphia, and it was basically chaos. Now, they're in this entirely new building. It is secured by a fence with barbed wire, and they are doing tabulation inside here. We're actually not allowed inside, but it's going on as we speak right now. And one of the unknowns back
Is this
in
where the
2020,
USB drives
at the
are?
end of the night was, well, just how many
That's where
mail-in
they are,
ballots are there out
Pennsylvania.
there? We don't know. Well, tonight, right before midnight, we're going to get a briefing here.
I got to tell you,
from
they
the
don't
city
sound very
commissioner.
confident on this side.
She was crying just
How
before
many of
this.
those mail-in ballots from Philadelphia have
You can
been
tell. Let's see.
processed,
This is boring.
and
I don't
how
want
many they
this.
have yet
Let's see what those campaign.
What's the popular vote at right now? I heard Trump was up 4 million recently. What's the current popular vote count?
Let's see. Is that something that New York Times just has right out here? Nope. Let's go to Reuters.
Looks like the Fed Haters Club saying he's up by 5.4 million currently.
52. Guys, that's over 50. I don't know if you know that, but that's over 50. Okay. 52 to 46. Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
Where are you seeing 52 to 46?
52.4% right here to 46.2%.
6-point lead in the popular vote right now.
I mean, that is a mandate to institute the Handmaid's Tale, if I ever saw it, right there. No questions asked. If you're pro-democracy, I want Handmaid's Tale next week. No questions asked. Biden has to do it. He's got to get the ball rolling on this.
Oh, God. This is great. This is so great.
I'm telling you, don't get too excited yet. Don't
No,
count your chickens.
Your jokes were great. I'm not saying the election. Yeah.
Don't count your chickens before the ballot truck arrives.
I have every inclination that you could be right still. So,
well, I mean, that's never hurt you before, assuming that. So,
no. Hey, look, it's
in
a
fact,
50.
just the opposite.
It's a 50-50 shot. So,
let's see. Maryland Senate held there. I'm not seeing anything called anywhere else for the Senate, at least according to Politico. Let's go to PA. There's different things about different maps that I like here. Pennsylvania, 51-48 right now. Wisconsin, yeah, Trump up 1.3 with 51% of the votes in at the moment. I want to say here's another thing too. Typically, Republicans show out more day of. So as you're watching these votes come in, you should start to see it trending. You should start to see Republicans gaining ground. It all depends on how they reported their votes. So if we assumed that last year, what we found out was a bunch of the early votes and mail-in votes got counted late. And so we assume day of vote comes in and it's looking really good night of in 2020. And everyone feels like what we're feeling right now, that Trump has walked away with this thing. He's going to be the next president again. And instead, what happens is they count a bunch of those early votes, mail-in votes, which some of them, might not even have arrived yet. We're talking about the Postal Service here, okay? And so just keep all that stuff in mind. I would say Georgia, 51-48, 3 points right now with 91%
What's Virginia looking at?
in. Virginia,
0.3.
0.3 for Harris with 74% of the votes in. Now, check this out. What did they have her at in Virginia in the polls? Let's go to
down.
Oh, it's
Virginia.
It's V. It's got a V with it. Yeah. That Kane.
So
Wait, what are we at right now?
You're on
in U.S. Senate. Okay. Now let's go to. Don't worry, guys. We're going to get the train back up rolling again.
6.6 points.
6.6. Recent polls, most recent polls, Atlas Intel, +5, and so currently, right now, they got now it's down to 0.2. A couple more votes came in, and North Carolina, we got Trump 53-46. With 76% of the votes in.
That's a
7 I'm telling you, man, I want a camera shot of Kamala crying, right? She's crying, she's firing people, she's drunk as hell. We all know that.
Yeah.
Okay. And I'm just saying that I want to see it. I want to see that happen. What were we just talking about? North Carolina? What were the polls on North Carolina? Trump plus 0.9. Most recent polls did have Trump plus 2.
He's up by 7 right now.
Was it 7? Is that what we have?
7 points.
7 currently. Wow. 7.
And remember what we talked about earlier. If Trump's able to flip Virginia, which is looking closer and closer, it's going down. If he's able to flip Virginia, then what we talked about previously with him needing to win Pennsylvania, that's no longer the case.
Yeah, he wouldn't have to win it.
He wouldn't have to win
swap 'em
Pennsylvania. He'd swap. Do
It's
a little switcheroo.
state swap. Mm-hmm.
What's
So that's
Georgia
19.
looking like right now?
Georgia is plus 3 for Trump with 91% of the votes in. So that is...
So
yeah.
are we ready to call Georgia even though no one else is?
I feel like we call Georgia.
Go Georgia real quick. What did they have the polling at in Georgia?
Let's see. Trump plus 0.8.
And with 90%, yeah, I'm calling Georgia for Trump.
Plus 2 from
Now's
Atlas.
the right time.
Atlas Intel 7.
This is what Amanda's saying too. Now's the right time. Call it. Be rebels.
We have called Georgia. Let's reset this map. We will call Georgia
And North Carolina.
for Donald Trump. Hold on now. Hold on. We can't ruin our credibility or no one's going to listen to us in the next election.
I think you got to take Virginia off and make it a toss-up.
It's a toss. It is currently a toss-up. That's true. What do we have here? Everyone was saying Iowa was going to be a surprise state. How's Iowa looking? He's up by 11 points. Okay. With 51%.
Can we call Iowa? Let's call Iowa. I call Iowa.
51% of the votes in. Let's go to the counties.
I like how Amanda's in here. Yeah, call it. Do it. Yeah.
I'll trust Amanda if that's what she wants us to do.
Do you want to call the entire election at this point? This is what the Fed Haters Club.
No.
The Fed Haters Club is saying
Looks
right
like
now.
Reuters has Iowa called for Trump. Especially Grundy County. Now they had their auction. And they let's see here.
Were you going about a mile a minute? Out there?
Plus 12 right now for Trump in Iowa. 54.
Tell you what, a mile a minute doesn't seem that fast. Like that's 60 miles an hour. It's not. It's really not that fast.
I don't know if that. Yeah, it's not that much. Let's see. We will call Iowa officially, and
we called Georgia officially.
Now North Carolina. Let's see what we got there. This is serious now. We're calling elections. Okay.
I mean, Trump's up by what, 4 points in North Carolina right now?
84% in. Donald Trump is up by 3.
Almost 3 points.
2.8 points. He's up. And what am I on right now? Reuters. Let's see what we got. Asheville, 93% in. Charlotte, 90% in. I'm just looking at the populations here to see. I don't think Chase is going to win that one. Let's see here. Raleigh, 82%. I'm trying to see if there's anything heavily populated that we are still waiting on. It's going to be these areas around Charlotte.
They've got 90% plus. What about Asheville? This is where
So Charlotte, by the way, let's check that out. That's plus 32 and some change. Let's call it 33, plus 33 for Mecklenburg County in North Carolina, plus 33. And let's go check out old Mecklenburg real quick. 35 for Biden and old Mecklenburg. So...
Did that just say estimated 99% on the 2020 election? Are they
they're still waiting on votes.
They're still counting votes.
Yeah, I still think Trump's going to pull it off.
What's happening over happening wherever the floods were?
Asheville,
93%.
93%
in Buncombe.
We
County.
got what do we got? 24.7% Kamala lead in Buncombe County. 24.7. And Buncombe, we had, that one's tighter. That's 21.1 for Biden. So she has a slight lead in the hard-hit county, hard-hit area of Asheville, North Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
So that's interesting.
Joy. Well, there's joy in the morning
Mm-hmm.
for those people, I think.
Henderson, they're just south. Let's see here. He won South Carolina by 12. I remember this being interesting when I looked at it earlier, so I promise you some interesting stat that makes you feel good. He won South Carolina so far by 18 right now. Now, South Carolina, as you know, is situated almost perfectly between Georgia and North Carolina. It looks intentional. And so
I'm seeing from the live group that Harris is only up by 2,000 total votes in Michigan.
okay.
What's happening there now? Bigger spread
That's not what.
right now on, was that Reuters?
That's Reuters. There's some good things about Reuters map and some things I don't like.
Oh, look at that. Showing about a 10,000 vote difference right now with Trump leading. That's
Wow.
25% of the votes in.
25% in. Okay. I don't like the way they do this. I don't like that. I don't like the bubbles.
Yeah.
I just want the counties. And when I click on this, it doesn't change. And so,
That's New York Times now.
oh, look, they have a shift from 2020 option right here. Well, how about that? 4 points more Republican. Well, hey, this is a whole new tool. Thank you, New York Times. Let's check this out. Do we have any shift blues? Steuben County in Indiana, they went a little blue. Okay, here's a pretty good point, though.
Wow.
Those are shift red. That's shift red
Looks like a lot.
versus shift blue.
Is this a tornado?
Yikes. We got
Hover
something
around. See the.
that's something on the Doppler here, and it's a lot of red.
That's
It's not
right where
good.
that hurricane was, by
Yeah,
the way.
it's
Look
not
at that.
good.
Circle around. You,
Okay. You're getting giddy over here, Charlie, because you've assumed.
no, I just think it's funny that it looks like a tornado. That
That's
is
pretty
Doppler
crazy.
indicated tornado happening.
The wind shear on this is amazing. Are those lightning strikes? Clinton County, 4.6 more points Republican. I'm looking at PA right now. This is a pretty cool tool. Thanks, New York Times.
We're hearing currently they're early calling Michigan for Trump. Now, who is
that's
doing
fake
that?
News.
Is that Fox News that's doing that? Who is calling Michigan for Trump?
Guys, look at all of this shift red.
That's honestly interesting.
That is
So we actually don't even have to.
nuts.
The greatest thing about this tool, you don't have to zoom in on the counties anymore.
Think about all the time we wasted so far on this show where we could have been making other jokes and stuff.
you were zooming in.
Zooming in, zooming out.
All you have to do is
wear out my
hover-
trackpad over here.
Just have to hover over these arrows.
Cumberland County, 0.9 points more Democratic. I mean, look at the shift blues so far in Pennsylvania. You got two little arrows that are
You can barely
they're
see.
embarrassed by their size when compared to the otare arrows, which are
Yeah.
much larger.
Which guys know all about when you compare
I know.
arrows. It can get embarrassing.
Yeah. These are the kind of arrows that do not shower at the gym.
Yeah.
Let me just tell you what, they are embarrassingly small. And some big arrows over here.
Looks like they had
that are
less black arrows come out in Pennsylvania than expected.
Okay, what else we got here? What? Okay, we're good.
Let's look at Virginia.
You know, I've been sitting in this chair since 7:30 this
You
morning.
have, yeah. Well, you've gone up to go pee about 38
Yeah,
times.
That's true. Don't bring up the peeing. I have to pee so
Look
bad
at
right now.
Virginia, the shift red there.
Where is
as well.
Virginia? Oh, yeah,
Look at
there we go.
Norfolk, Richmond. Those are some big arrows, if I've ever seen arrows before.
Yeah.
Where has this map been this entire night?
I know. I don't even want to go to any other websites. Honestly, this map puts that MSNBC guy to shame. He's going to be out of a job soon.
All right, so with this early indication of arrows, Nathaniel, what's your prediction now? I have to go pretty soon, so I don't.
Do
know.
you?
You're probably going to be still streaming.
You got to go?
Well, I at least need to take a break.
I wasn't even going to go to bed. Now, we can put on some weight music and take a bathroom break here in a bit.
I do have an extremely important meeting at 9 a.m. in the morning.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I can't.
Is it with the president-elect?
Yes. So
who is it?
It looks like Amanda's willing to be co-chuck. So
What?
She said that she's co-chuck. She's willing.
Oh,
to,
she's willing to come in.
Yeah.
She's willing to sub in. Let me see if I can make that work on here. I don't have this set up for guest right now.
Guest. But we have all the time to bring in guests.
Yeah, we can do that. Amanda, you got that link, and I'm.
Oh, here we go. Look at the Fed Haters Club are gonna. Amanda's. I see the arrow growing for Amanda. They'd much rather have her.
Okay, what do we got here? Michigan, 25% of the votes in. Donald Trump is up by 1.1. Wisconsin, 56% in. Donald Trump is up by 1.2. Pennsylvania, 61% in. Donald Trump is up by 3. Virginia, Kamala's up by 1. North Carolina, Donald Trump
up by 3.
Up by 3 with 85% in. Georgia, Donald Trump is up by 3 with 91% in. New Mexico, Arizona. Ooh,
statistical tie.
That's tighter than I thought it was going to be. That's an interesting one.
That's literally 1,000 votes.
But that's probably just because of the early voting and stuff like that. Well, how's the shift looking here? Do we have a shift arrows? No, not enough out there.
No shift arrows.
We don't have enough information, is what we're learning there. So Nevada, we don't have anything from. And nothing out there out west.
What is the forecast now? We were at 78% prediction for Trump to win. Now up to 85%.
Where are you seeing that stat?
Right there, 85% chance of victory.
Wow.
We went from 78 up to 85. And it looks like the college, electoral college estimate, this might actually, so your landslide prediction might actually come true.
I said it was going to be a landslide.
In favor of Trump. They're looking at 297 to 241. So 85% chance. Now, if somebody told you, Nate, if you could put your $100 bet on a roulette number, and you would have an 85% chance of winning, how many $100 bets are you putting on that roulette number?
85%. Can you have an 85% chance in roulette? I don't. How does that work? I've never played that before.
Well,
listen, right now, if I were to make a new bet, if I were to retroactively change my bet, I would say Trump. I mean, given the information. Let's see here. We got people stuffing ballots in Pennsylvania, working hard, overtime. Just kidding. We've got people,
Harris campaign rally.
We have people with some fire starters they're waving around down here at the Harris campaign rally. And the Trump campaign rally, they're probably in shock, actually, is what's happening currently. Well, they all remember 2020. I'm warning everyone again. Many people went to bed with this feeling in 2020. Okay? We don't know.
I didn't go to bed. I ended up in 2020 staying up.
You did?
Yeah.
We don't know. And
I saw 300,000 ballots that came in Georgia.
Yeah.
Yeah. I saw that happening. So there's still a potential of that happening. How many people did they bus in? For that Harris campaign rally?
This is
they're going to be so disappointed.
This is at what's that college? Historically black college. What's it called? Starts with an H.
Howard.
They're at Howard. So they're waving flags.
They're announcing something.
I think they're pumping in. I think that's probably CGI. That's probably AI video. I think they're pumping in crowd noise. That's a joke, by the way. You've never heard us before. A lot of jokes happen. Let me see if MSNBC guy's talking. Oh, MSNBC guy's talking. Let's see what he has.
All right, I'm going to take a little
Starting
break while
to get
this is
Erie
happening.
County. Again, this would be the vote by mail in Erie County. The story we've been talking
He
about
just needs to
elsewhere
look at
now
the
is going to
arrows,
play out in
man.
Erie. This is the bellwether. It's one of the two that
he's
switched
wasting
sides
time
to
here.
Biden in 2020. The name of the game in the final 2/3 of the vote is, can Trump catch Harris with the election day vote? Just checking in on Philadelphia, we're up to 2/3 of the vote now in Philadelphia. And again, this is just Philadelphia, the city. And again, I think this is becoming a bit of a theme we're seeing in multiple states now, the Hispanic vote. Why did Trump make some progress? It was small, but it was there in Philadelphia in 2020.
Amanda,
it was
use
because he
that
improved
link
with
if you
Hispanic
got it.
voters in Hispanic areas of the city.
still got that link,
with
Amanda?
2/3 of the vote in Philadelphia now.
In your
it's
email?
77-21. Well, that looks terrible, but compare that to 2020, and look at that. Trump is running 3.5 points better in Philadelphia than he did in 2020.
Yeah,
Harris
can't
now
just
4
post it.
points off the Biden number. There is more mail to come, more vote by mail to come in Philadelphia. That will be a boost to Harris, but there's also more same-day vote to come. And you can see Trump is running above his 2020 levels there. So where this lands, the Trump campaign's goal in Philadelphia is basically get that Biden number under 80%. So far, they're on course to do that. There's the wild card of the mail there. That adds a lot of volatility to this. But again, you're starting to, as these counties fill in, you're starting to see some patterns, and patterns you're not just seeing in one state, you're seeing them in multiple states right now.
All right, we'll move away from MSNBC right fast. Trying to find someone else talking. There we go.
Republicans don't end up winning control of the Senate based on how this map looks, it would be a shocker, right? That's a huge storyline of the night. I mean, it's a big storyline either way because control of the Senate matters for a lot of the reasons that we've talked about. But that's how the map has been looking, and so we're waiting on these two outstanding states.
And they're already part of the way there. They already have this pickup in West Virginia. We cannot stress enough, if Vice President Harris were to win the White House, it would be incredibly challenging for her to get judicial nominees confirmed, to get her cabinet confirmed with a Republican Senate.
So here we are, we're nearing the top of the hour, but we're still no calls in any of the battleground states. Are you surprised we are where we are right now?
No, because as Claire McCaskill has said so accurately, what we are seeing has been reflected in the polls.
The polls maybe
as
were
we were
right.
leading up to this evening, it looks like the polls were right. This is a 50-50 race, and so this is going to go down to the wire in all of these battlegrounds.
Close race means a long time. We can put it that way, right? I mean, I think that's generally the vibe. We'll see how it goes. I think everybody's looking towards Pennsylvania, just in chatting with
All right, well, let's check back into the presidential race, and we'll take a look at the road to 270. It is 10:51 in the East, and here is where we stand right now on the road to 270 electoral votes. Those will be the keys to get into the White House in the next year. Right now, we want to go to Peter Alexander at Harris headquarters to really gauge the temperature in the room. Peter?
Well, we're outside, and it's a loud one here, but I can tell you if you get into the crowd here, it's particularly quiet in terms of their sense of optimism right now. That's how one Harris ally just described it to me a short time ago. I ran into a longtime Democratic source, a person who was close to the Harris campaign, and I asked them what they make of the results they've seen so far. They said, honestly, this is not looking so good for us, but then they quickly put on a smile and said, but you know what? We just got to keep smiling for the night. That may give you a better understanding of where they feel like things may be going right now. It remains early, a lot of votes still to count, but I'll tell you what I just heard from a Democratic lawmaker right now who just wrote me in part, quote, it's pretty concerning. I just keep reminding myself that 8 years ago, all the trends in the first few hours showed Hillary winning, and then she didn't. But obviously, this is not the return we were looking for. It gives you a little sense of the way that some of those people supporting Kamala Harris are feeling this evening right now. Again, a lot of numbers, a lot of data still to be counted right now. But as Claire McCaskill said a short time ago, some of the early results we're seeing in some of those places, North Carolina, Georgia, are not looking as positive as the Harris campaign had been hoping. It doesn't mean that they still don't have a path, but it does certainly increasingly mean that they'd have to succeed in holding on to that blue wall. Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Wisconsin. And frankly, speaking to some people in some of those states that are involved with the Harris campaign, they said that's where they are seeing some concern that that's going to be a tightrope that they have to still try to walk tonight. Buster?
And Peter, we were just talking here. There's a sense that the polls were, in fact, right. Are they getting that sense that the polls are really reflecting what we're watching?
Well, I mean, nationally, this is basically an evenly divided country, right? So the idea that our last poll showed at 49-49 is sort of a overall popular vote, that may be pretty close to where this thing ends up. But remember, for the Democrats to win the Electoral College, they generally have to have a better advantage as it relates to the popular vote. So if the country's evenly divided in terms of a popular vote, that may not be enough for the Democrats. Still a long way to go. Obviously, nobody here is leaving. They're still waiting to hear from the vice president. They recognize this may be not just a matter of hours, but days right now, and they're still hopeful that people are waiting in line, including on those college campuses. They point to campuses in Pennsylvania in particular, some of the campuses out west in Nevada. They're still circling on the map as a place.
All right, let's go back over to the MSNBC
jump
guy.
here tonight. You could look at it, do it in the raw vote, and you'll really see it. 378,000. That's the number of votes Joe Biden got here in 2020. 179,000 is Trump. That is essentially a 200,000 vote margin that Democrats got out of Mecklenburg County 4 years ago. Not quite enough to win the state, but the name of the game for them tonight was build on that. Drive that over 200,000 with 90% in. There is still some votes to come in, so this is going to change, but you can see clearly the difference here is sitting at less than 175,000. So instead of going north of 200,000, it is on pace to finish south of where they were 4 years ago. So that's a significant development. Democrats looking at North Carolina all night have wanted something giant to come out of Mecklenburg. We just basically got Mecklenburg. That's what it is. The other one that I think is notable, we don't quite have all of it, but in Wisconsin, again, nearing 60% of the vote in statewide, razor thin. But again, one of those questions we asked at the start of the night, getting some clarity, and it's in the most Democratic vote producing margin county in the state, Dane County. Almost 90% of the vote in here. We're getting close to all the vote in Dane County. Significance here, Democrats rely so much on Dane County in Wisconsin now because they've lost so much ground in the rural areas of this state. I said at the start of the night, every single presidential election this century, the Democrats have added to their margin.
What's up, Amanda?
Dane
How's
County.
it going?
They've squeezed more and more and more out of it.
Give me a sec
Take a
here.
look at this. 4 years ago,
Can you hear me now? No, I don't hear you. Amanda, you're killing our stream. Oh, it still says green room here. There we go. Yeah, let's check this out. I told you I wasn't set up to bring in any guests tonight. This is a surprise. So just give me 1 second here. Amanda gets special privileges to be able to just pop in here immediately. And I just can't hear you. It just says that you're in the green room right now. So I would, if you'd like to exit the green room, that would be fine, but I can't bring you out of it currently. So I just want to make sure that you can work on bringing yourself out of that green room. We'll quickly go back to this guy as to kill some of the awkwardness while we work on this situation.
significance here is Trump lost in 2016. He won the county, but he lost so much ground that this was the worst Republican performance in Ozaukee County since 1964. This fits the profile demographically of exactly where Democrats thought they could knock it out of the park tonight. Knock it out of the park in Ozaukee County means get this down to single digits, something like that. Instead, 60% of the vote in. We'll see what happens the rest of the way. But so far, Trump has stopped the losses in Ozaukee County, which had been considerable, the decline in Ozaukee County, which had been considerable since he became the Republican candidate in 2016, and now leading by more than 14 points here. So those are some big counties, significant counties, politically significant counties, where we now have a giant chunk of the vote, and we can start to see some patterns developing. Again, just checking in statewide, close to 60%. It is very close there statewide, but that is a county, a few counties where we have that much vote in that size. That's very significant, potentially, what we just saw in Dane County.
So, Amanda tried to join us, and I don't have this set up for guests right now. That was not a plan that I had. And so we're on like the wrong...
I just asked Brittany if she wanted to guest.
Yeah.
She's like, I know nothing about politics. I said, perfect. This could be hilarious, but she's going to bed. So
yeah. It's so hot. I'm sweating.
Parker, the same.
Sweating profusely right now.
You are?
In this room. Yeah.
It's actually not hot in here, so it must be the election results. You're sweating your bed. Hard. Here's one thing I just thought of, by the way, too. How much less money did Trump spend in this election?
Oh, it had to be
getting these types of results.
Yeah, it had to be a lot less.
Was that like half? He spent half of what?
Kamala raised $1 billion. I don't know if she spent the whole thing. But
does this keep going up? 87% chance.
Quite a lot. Let's see here.
301 to 237. So they are predicting right now. The New York Times predicting a landslide victory.
Wow.
For President Trump.
87% chance of victory. Popular vote estimate +1 Trump. That's something. Wisconsin leans Republican. Michigan leans Republican. PA, Arizona, North Carolina, Georgia.
So all the swing states that he was up in, that we talked about him winning.
Yeah. Yeah. That's something. Let me tell you what. Kamala is up by 2 points now in Virginia. Let's see. And Trump's up by a little over 2.
3 points
Amanda
exactly in
says-
North Carolina.
Amanda says call Michigan. For Harris? Call VA for Harris. All right. You think we can call Virginia for Harris? Okay. No, that's the wrong color. Virginia for Harris. Our decision. Amanda Desk has chimed in. We tried to bring her on. And yeah, that's my bad.
Seeing some
Just couldn't do it.
pushback saying no on Virginia, that's going to go Trump.
I
still think Virginia's a toss-up. That's too close.
You still think it's a toss-up, huh? How are we going here in Charlottesville?
Well, let's look real quick before you do that. Let's go to the arrow map. See what the shift is in
You
Virginia.
want the arrow map. Bring back the arrow map.
Just real quick.
No, you're right. You're right. We should do that. I just don't. The problem is I don't remember where it was. And so here we go. Now we'll get the arrow map. Shift from 2020. Let's zoom in. Just pinch zoom. It's going to get all blurry. State lines aren't super easy to see on this. I'll
Well,
tell you
there's
that.
Roanoke, Richmond, Norfolk,
Yeah.
Virginia Beach.
Let's see. Let's zoom in here. Come on, Apple, work with me here.
Seen a lot of red.
Let's see. Williamsburg, James City, County. I'm assuming these are Virginia. See, they don't even tell you, and I can't see the lines. I don't know Virginia.
That's Virginia. Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of red arrows in Virginia. Oh, now I see the state outline. It's way bigger right here. Okay, my bad. My bad, guys. It's late, and I've been sitting in this chair for 15 hours. Literally waiting on this moment right now.
Look at this arrow just outside of Richmond to the right there. Right side of Richmond.
That's a big arrow.
Big
It's
arrow,
a very
but
small area.
Yeah, small area.
Do we have any big, high population? What's Roanoke look like? 2.4 points more Republican. What's another high? Virginia Beach. Which is weird. They're not showing this area over here with any arrows. That's an area that Biden won, and Trump was up last I checked in those actual counties over there. Here's a real big one for Surrey County. That's another low population area. No offense. Manassas, 9.5 points more Republican. Okay. So the point is, this area right in here is Virginia.
Mm-hmm.
And as you can see, there are a lot of red arrows through there. Now, what matters is whether or not they're in high population areas. And haven't seen that too much yet. Did we call Virginia? Is it too late to take that back?
I didn't call it.
We're going to give a leans dim to Virginia right now. Or do you guys still think it's a toss-up? Is it a toss-up? Let's hear from the group. Lean dim. All right, leans. Currently leans. What's North Carolina looking like? All right, a little close. 51-48 with 87% in.
Still too close.
I mean,
but I would say likely.
Very likely ours, what New York Times is saying. North Carolina, we got what do we got here? 85% in, and
3
they're
points.
saying 50.8 to 47.8. And with a vote difference of 146,000-ish. So 85% in, they expect 15. Carry the 7. It could still change, but very likely. I think we can safely put North Carolina in likely Republican. And then what do we do for Wisconsin? How's Wisconsin looking right now? Wow. Donald Trump up by 1.5 currently with 60% in Wisconsin.
Now, do you think RFK is pulling any from the Democrats at all?
From the Democrats?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Or Republicans.
He's got 10,000 votes in Wisconsin.
Right now, the separation is 29,000. So,
yeah. It's interesting that people would still vote for RFK when the man himself, but I guess it's a protest vote. You know, I get it. I understand protest votes. I'm a libertarian. I understand it. It's just like, if you want to vote for that guy, but that guy says, vote for that guy. If you want me to actually have a job in the government, like if you want anything from me whatsoever, if you liked my plan and you want to keep my plan, then you vote for that guy. I don't know. Just saying. Wisconsin, we got 1.5%, 61% of the votes in. So that's still too close to call, I guess. I assume New York Times is saying it's leaning both ways. I mean, if we go with what New York Times is saying right now, and we just select what their likely outcomes are, they have Arizona lean Trump. We'll just run down the list here. We've already got that. Arizona lean Trump. They've got Georgia, Michigan, North Carolina, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin. Everything but Nevada. They have in the leans or likely good God.
Then he could even win Nevada. So put that one on there too and see what the...
That's a gall-darn blowout if I ever saw one.
312 to 226. That's a larger victory of margin than Obama won, I think.
I think the better question that we all need to know is Kamala cackling right now? Is she still laughing at this moment? You know? Like real Joker vibes.
You think she's still talking about joy right now?
There's got to be so much gall-darn joy in that office right now. I mean, even if they do still pull it off.
I'm getting word that we need to call the entire election right now.
I can't do that.
Some folks want to go to bed. It's 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock here in Tennessee, 10 p.m. Some folks want to go to bed. They're looking for someone to call.
Well, you are free to go to bed at any
the
time.
Election.
At any time.
And
let's see. 72 for Pennsylvania. We still got 3. There's not much changing right now. It's what, that's what's really getting me at the moment.
We're in the final hour.
Now, what's interesting, remember how many times we've talked about this. Remember these charts right here?
Mm-hmm.
We've mentioned this several times. Judging by the 538 polls, if they missed in the same way they missed in 2020, which doesn't seem like that's what's happening right now. It looks like it's more resembling our half of 2020 miss.
They improved by 50% on their polling.
They got a little bit better. Nationally, with the adjusted number, that had Trump at 0.9. And right now, what do we have Trump at nationally?
6.
Okay, maybe it is the other one.
Maybe it is
it's
the
other
first one.
Let's see here.
Maybe the polling is still off as bad as it was in 2020.
We had
3.
If they were off as bad as they were in 2020, the adjusted number was Trump plus 2.9. Now, okay, just keep in mind we don't have California yet. California's got too many people, way too many people, but that's going to change the popular vote total quite a lot because it's clearly going to go Democrat. And so let's keep that in mind. But for fun, let's talk about the other stuff. Pennsylvania.
Has any votes from California come in at all?
No, I don't think so. Pennsylvania, with our half of 2020 miss, we had at 1.9. 1.9. Currently 72% in.
He's up 2.8. What is that?
6?
2.6.
2.6. So we have 1.9. Honestly, I think the Good Morning Liberty model is going to play out here.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. So actually 2.6. We had him.
What's funny is you developed this model and still didn't believe in yourself.
I know. If you can imagine such a world. Now, this is a very complicated model, okay? Let me tell you what. It's equals H4 divided by 2 in this here spreadsheet.
I mean, the team of researchers we had work on this.
I know, it's a lot.
Consisted of one.
But this model we have been posting and talking about for a solid month now. And we posted on our page several times. We had Trump basically plus 2 in Pennsylvania. Now I'm going to act like we had that happening. Arizona, we had Trump plus 3.4. Now let's see how far off our model was. Because right now, it's only 0.1 currently.
It's 50% reporting.
Yeah.
So far.
So
they've called California already, though. Are you sure no votes have come in
wow,
yet?
I guess so.
That's closer than I thought.
That's interesting.
With 5% of votes counted.
53-44. But in California, what they do is they round up all the votes from the homeless people first, and those get put into the system first.
That makes sense.
As you can see, there's roughly about 780,000 of those homeless people, and they're just barely going for Kamala Harris right now. And so that's not much information yet. Yeah, now it's 20 points. Now it's 20 points Harris. Just for fun, what did Biden win California by?
29.
29 points. Okay. So we'll see. Keep that in the back of our minds here.
By the way, 5 million vote swing California in 2020. So the Democrats gained 5 million votes. So if you put 5 million votes on the board now, you're at dead even.
Dead
basically.
even.
Actually,
Trump plus
up
800,000.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you include those 5 million California votes, if the spread stays similar.
Uh-oh. Lost my screens. Okay, let's go back to the GML model real quick. Arizona, too close for us to tell. But North Carolina, we have plus 2.6 for Trump. And currently, what do we have?
Plus 2.8.
2.8. Okay, 2.8. This is interesting.
Look, for those of you that listen to the show already, you already know this, but by far, probably the best predictions you're going to find across anywhere.
This is the most accurate model I've seen so far. Nevada, we don't have any information on. Michigan, we have plus 1.7 for Trump, and this is one I have no confidence in whatsoever because Kamala Harris is currently up by 3.
That's only 32% of votes.
32% in. You see?
So
now we just can't tell. Wisconsin, we had 2.9 for Trump. 2.9 for Trump, and currently we have 2.2 for Trump. Okay. And then Georgia, we have 1.6 for Trump, and it's like 3 or something right now, isn't it?
Yeah, 2.8.
2.8. Okay. So we, kind of jokingly, because there's a lot of people listening that probably don't listen every day, but Our adjusted, because based on the polls from 2020 and how much the miss was, using 538's model and then adjusting for them, fixing some of it. We did 50% of what their miss was and then used the polling averages. Now, I didn't update this till like the last couple days because I was like, oh, it doesn't matter. But we had Trump winning the national popular vote by 1 and then winning all of the swing states. So that's interesting. Oh, okay. Anything else we can call right now? Just not a lot happening. All right, last predictions. Everyone who's listening right now, give me your final predictions. Here, don't type them yet. Hold on. Trump, give me a vote. Harris, give me a vote. Let's see, thumbs up, thumbs down. And if you're hanging out on Twitter or YouTube, I'll pull up the comments just to look at them. Our live group, the Fed Haters Club, join gmail.com. They get preference in our interactions. So let's look at no, that's interview chat. I don't have that turned on. If anyone wants their vote, Trump or Harris, what's going to happen? What is going to happen? How's it looking? Trump, Trump's walking away with it in the Fed Haters Club right now. Let me tell you what. Just running right away with it. So, if we wake up tomorrow and it looks like Trump actually won in a landslide, Charlie,
I'm excited.
What is your reaction going to be? What is your message to America if we wake up and it actually looks like Trump not only pulled it off, but he won almost all the swing states and the national popular vote? Where do we go from here?
I think there's something to be said that America, even though we joke about some people being real dumb, we have dumb bleep of the week. But I think in large part, people aren't as stupid as some people might think they are. And I think the positive part about this is when you have essentially the entire media at your side and behind you and pushing you
at your service
and at your service, when you have the lies that are just being spread everywhere and getting everyone to buy in on them, and then when all of this secret voting, pinning wives against their husbands, calling men boys. I'm sorry, calling men ladies men. When it actually comes down to the brass tacks, people actually going out to make their voice heard, I think the big winner here is, regardless of whether or not you like Trump, I think the big winner is what we've talked about, which is America is not going to stand. You can't lie and gaslight your way to victory, and also you can't coup an election. You can't.
Yeah.
Let's not forget that Biden was in this race.
Oh my God.
June.
I tell you what, this is the latest he's ever going to stay awake, because I guarantee you he's up watching Fox News right now.
Joe Biden.
Guarantee you.
Was still running for president in June. And everyone knew he wasn't going to be able to do it. And the media sat there and lied to you saying, oh, he's as sharp as I've ever seen him.
He's cogent. They
called videos of actual President Biden, they called him deep fakes.
Jill did wear a red suit to go vote today. Did you see that? Straight up red.
No, I did not see that.
I think it was a F you guys. You screwed up. I don't know, but that is a choice.
I'm seeing a live group here about Biden voted Trump as well.
I mean, those people pick their colors that they wear. They pay attention to all this stuff, and she just wore a whole bright red get up today. And I am wondering if that is a sign. Sorry,
now,
the
interesting thing will be, too, is obviously we're going to watch how this plays out.
89% now for Trump is what New York Times is saying.
We're going to watch how this plays out, but look at the popular vote estimate, 1.1. We predicted 0.9.
we predicted 0.9, yeah. Yep.
What's going to be interesting over the next 4 years is how many promises Trump sticks to. Now, of course, being libertarians, we're not expecting a lot. However, I do think we start to fight back against the radical left, the woke mind virus, whatever it is that has infiltrated the left politics and made them absolutely psychopathic, narcissistic, and insane. We push back against that, and then we focus on advancing liberty. Now, my hope, which I don't think is going to happen, but my hope is that guys like Elon Musk and Ron Paul are able to get involved and we actually cut spending. That would be a libertarian dream come true. That is on the path to liberty.
I called the...
That is, Josiah just texted us, that is net liberty.
Mm-hmm.
And that's exactly what he just texted us about. He did.
Okay.
And that is net liberty. If we're able to cut spending. If Ross Ulbricht gets freed from prison.
That's good.
That's a win for liberty.
That's good.
Now, if someone around can convince Trump, maybe RFK Jr., and maybe we actually get some of the deep state secrets released. And not only that, maybe we get someone like Edward Snowden to be pardoned because Ron Paul and other folks are in Trump's ear and we actually get some of those things done. What if we stop the war with Ukraine and Russia? Right? What if we stop World War III from happening?
Could be some good things.
There could be some good things that happen from this. And then we got to focus on how do we keep advancing liberty? We push away the monster, the woke mind virus, the absolutely insane, narcissistic, psychopathic idiots out there who want to murder babies and call men ladies. See how I rhyme with that? I've been working on this.
Trying to murder babies, calling men ladies.
Sorry, Doc, but I've been crazy. Okay.
I called it, by the way. I called the election.
You did?
Yeah,
did you just call it?
Screen? Do you see the screen?
Oh, here we go.
So I made this earlier just in case, and you have to be watching the captions. But for anyone who's watching the captions right now, I need you to go to our Twitter, our X account, and retweet this because I was super proud of this. And so I think I made it official who I think is going to win this election. And here we go.
Я думал, намного лучше это все будет. Сколько раз сюда ходил, было намного лучше, но на этот раз как-то не удалось. Во-первых, народу мама, музыка не очень. А что за направление? А? Что за направление? Направление? Какое направление? Что за направление музыки играет
там? All right. There we go. I made it official.
I'm hearing that should we pull up some tweets, perhaps?
Are there some tweets?
Apparently
who's tweeting?
I'm seeing that there's some interesting things going on.
Who's tweeting? About what?
I don't know.
Well, I mean, we can't just pull up tweets. Who am I pulling up?
Well, you never know.
Okay. Well, let's just scroll through our Twitter then. Let's see here. Elon Musk says game, set, and match. The redheaded libertarian. Glad to be hanging out with y'all on this historic night. Thank you.
New York Times just called North Carolina for Trump.
Okay.
How about that?
Okay. Interesting. Let's see. AP race call. Donald Trump wins the presidential battleground state of North Carolina. Okay. Anna Kasparian, a soon-to-be convert just fully onto the right from the Young Turks, says, turns out no one likes neocons. Who knew? Yeah, that whole running with Liz Cheney thing. That's weird.
Yeah.
That's a weird thing.
Mm-hmm.
Since it's a...
And everyone knows that he didn't talk about putting her in front of a firing squad.
Oh, I do have something fun, though. I do have my bookmarks tab here where I have saved predictions. So let's check this out on Good Morning Liberty's Twitter. How's everyone feeling? Who will be declared the winner our people voted. They said 80.9% Trump. Tim Young says Trump 2016, A New Hope. Trump 2020, The Empire Strikes Back. Trump 2024, Return of the Jedi. I'm an equal opportunity prediction killer here. This is me commenting that Nate, the guy talking right now, I said Kamala wins all swing states except for Arizona.
Wrong.
And you know what? It worked. Because I was 100% convinced that Kamala was going to win this. 95% convinced that Kamala was going to win this election. And now I'm pleasantly surprised. I wasn't nervous the whole time. Okay. Let's see. Jeremy Kaufman said Trump's going to win New Hampshire. That was one that I wanted to check up on. How's that looking? 53% in.
Almost 6 points ahead.
How's Lily Tang doing right now? New Hampshire. And let's get to that race. Oh. Only
5 points.
New Hampshire is slow. They must be counting by hand in there. They maybe are. That is
Did
New
she go
Hampshire.
viral on Twitter?
Yeah,
for
I
that
told you
debate?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, she's down by 5 points right now to a Democrat. Anyhow, what were we doing? We were going
The first tweet you pulled up, though, from Elon Musk saying game, set, match.
Yeah, that's good.
This guy's playing games we don't even know about, like Diablo.
Rasmussen head pollster Mark Mitchell, this is yesterday, confirms polls show a Trump landslide. Let's see. Jank says, if you think, this is from yesterday, says, if you think Trump is going to win easy tomorrow because everyone you know on X is on his side, you got a rude awakening coming to you tomorrow. The real world ain't X. How about that? Robert Malone says, my prediction is Trump will win, popular vote by safe margin, and electoral vote by landslide. Anyhow, let me go back to what's going on currently. That's not it. That's not currently. I'll tell you that. I just clicked on X jobs. That's not it. Okay, let's go back to home. Now, what do all the stolen election people do after this, you know?
Oh, they're fake bomb threats here. Uh-oh.
Okay.
From Tristan Snell, over 40 different fake bomb threats have now been called into Democratic-leaning polling places, and they're coming from Russia.
All right. Bookmark.
This should literally be the story right now.
Stop the steal.
This should be the story right now. It is blatant and brazen election interference to steal the election for Trump by Russia, of course.
Oh, MSNBC's having a total meltdown. Let's see what the meltdown sounds like. Here we go.
We still have an electorate.
Oh,
70.
This was 10 hours ago.
Yeah, good God. Spanish. And then let's go to Elon Musk says kapow. My God, is it actually going to happen?
I'll go back up real quick and look at that. Musk swung the election and Bryan Cranston. Here's a little bit of crying here. Yes, the problem, though, isn't Musk, but the fact that Musk was able to take advantage of the laws and his wealth to get here.
Kamala raised $1 billion.
Over $1 billion.
My God.
And not only that, but the left has had all of media. Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, MSNBC, NBC, ABC, CBS, CNN. And the elections have been close. And now all of a sudden, the right, now we're calling Elon Musk right. Like he's a conservative. The dude has been a Democrat his entire life. And all of a sudden he's able to buy just one of the left-leaning strongholds and make it more towards free speech. And then
this is first election.
There's an issue there.
It's a pure Project 2025 in miniature in Florida, and that kind of extreme sort of extremist.
You know what? Now, this might be before it was fairly clear that this election was not going their way. But it's, I'm guessing it's this kind of stuff. Yeah, clear Project 2025, right-wing fascist state. Extreme right-wing fascist state from Joy Reid. Let's see here. Everyone make sure you go on X and retweet that dancing guy, by the way. Got to make sure that's going well. We got to do better than that. Come on, it's got to take off. No, Reed on Florida is at the top. Thomas Massey won his election against no one. Silence falls on Kamala HQ.
Uh-oh.
Jake, let me just give you a gut check here about what we are hearing here as we've been sitting here reporting from the Harris headquarters. And I think the operative word right now is silence. There's not a lot being said because the Harris team appears to be searching for bright spots in the map.
And they can't find them.
Very, very slowly.
Searching for bright spots and also very aware of the warning signs throughout the electorate in Virginia, in Iowa, in other places. I am told that Milwaukee and Detroit and Philadelphia, that is what the Harris campaign tonight is holding out hope for, more votes to come in. They have always said the blue wall was the most straightforward path. Now it may be the best, not only at all, because Georgia is also something that is developing tonight.
Yeah, I mean, I still hear from
Okay, this is back when they still had hope. And that
campaign doesn't,
that was
though.
How much hope, yeah. What is, speaking of Kamala HQ, what's Kamala HQ? They provide context, just so you guys know.
I'm choking on my water. Oh.
It's election day, 4 hours. They haven't posted in 4 hours. So silence has also fallen on Kamala HQ. Just so you guys know. Charles getting choked up about this.
Oh, man.
You know?
I just can't believe it. I really think our votes swayed, some people here.
That's what it was. It will be interesting to see, and we'll probably just need to go ahead and go because I've had the pee so bad for the last hour and we don't have time to go take a break. So we'll make our official prediction. Everyone needs to go onto our X account and repost that video because I put a lot of work into it. And I need you guys to help out. So here it is. I'm going to post it in a live Discord. I think it's hilarious personally. So you should too. You have to kind of know the inside thing. People take that video and they put different captions over it. And I'm sure most people know that. But okay, let's go.
Prediction from the Fed Haters Club here. Elon bought the election is going to be the story tomorrow.
Oh, yeah.
89% chance. That's where we were last time.
They got 70% chance for Trump in Pennsylvania. Did we get any more Senate races, by the way? Did we see anything here?
I don't think so.
Let's see. That's New Hampshire. No. What was I looking at to get Senate stuff? Oh, it was this. Okay.
Oh, flipping Ohio. There's another Senate seat.
Flipped Ohio. Bernie Moreno. Looks like Bernie beat Sherrod Brown. Ted Cruz won handily. Any other flips? No, not yet. The one other
looks like Eric has a lead in Wisconsin there. Could be another flip over Tammy Baldwin.
There is a slight lead right now. Okay. Barron.
1.6 points up.
Currently
18 points.
7% in.
Oh, okay.
Tim Shee's winning. So we could have a scenario where there is a landslide victory and there is a Republican House and Senate.
You're a red wave.
This is the red wave. The thing about red waves is they take an extra 2 years to get there. Okay.
That's right.
Listen.
And Liberty Lunatic is right here. Trump had the House, Senate, and the presidency for 2016 to 2018 and did nothing. They didn't repeal and replace Obamacare like they promised.
Yeah, I was about to say, I didn't finish my statement. I don't mean that as a good thing. I prefer gridlock. I want the government to be able to do almost nothing. And so, I prefer Republicans over Democrats. I also don't want the dumb stuff either.
Although if we can, like I mentioned earlier, if it, I'm not going to have much hope for it, but if there is some advances in liberty and they're able to get those advances in liberty done because we have control, because Republicans have control, then I think that is obviously a good thing and a win for liberty.
If
there
are some ifs in there, we have to rely.
I mean, Trump still brought out, Mike Pompeo last night.
Still have Mike Pompeo,
which is awful.
Could have just all been a campaign ploy to get the libertarians. I was going to say earlier,
The vote seems to be that you go pee and come back. Apparently, the way you zoom in on the arrows in the counties.
they like it when I do the arrows. Yeah,
it seems
that's
to
what it
be
is. You want me to do the arrows?
the best election coverage we have so far.
I mean, I'll do it. I had planned on going pretty late, but then you were saying that do you want to go to 11?
Yeah, I'm fine right now.
Okay,
I'm
we'll do
fine.
27 more minutes. Charlie, would you rather me?
Can you turn on that music though while we're?
Oh yeah, I can turn on the music.
Thousand. That's the
he's
Harris
talking,
margin.
actually.
He's talking.
163,000 in 2020. That was about 182.
I'll just give you the camera, and then I gotta go pee.
182.
Oh, are you gonna go pee too?
We'll see if there's
We're
any
gonna go
more
pee.
votes to
Listen
come,
to this
and that
guy.
hits 95%. They usually aren't. So again, if anything like that holds, boy, Democrats want to be at that number. This is where they've improved their performance every time for 4 years. Where Democrats have improved tonight, where Harris has improved, or it looks like she will. Not much to come in Waukesha, big county, 400,000 people live here. One of those wow counties right outside Milwaukee. And here again, Trump got basically 60%, 60 to 39. Trump falling a point here so far. Harris rising a point over Biden. So that is progress for Democrats in a very big county. You take a look here at Ozaukee County. And again, this one, now we got about 3/4 of the vote in. And Trump is running a bit above, not much. It's basically level with his 2020 number. Again, this is one where Democrats want to get a couple points better, see what happens with that remaining vote. And we talked at the start of the night about, we say the wow counties and the bow counties here. Brown County, Outagamie County, Winnebago County, mid-sized cities along sort of the Fox River, Lake Winnebago. These are all counties that Donald Trump won in 2020, but with reduced margins. Is he returning to 2016 levels, or is he back at 2020 levels? So Outagamie County here, again, this is where the city of Appleton is. In 2016, when Trump won Wisconsin, he won this county by about 13 points. In 2020, when he lost Wisconsin, it was a 10-point margin. And tonight, as you can see, 67%. It's back at that 13-point spread right now. Now, again, votes still to come in Outagamie County. But I only flag this because we are seeing it in an awful lot of places tonight where Trump is returning to 2016 levels. These aren't always dramatic shifts, but Wisconsin's a state. When Trump won it, it was by 20,000 votes. When Biden won it, it was by 20,000 votes. So these kinds of differences can make all the difference. See what happens with the remaining vote there. But that's something we've been seeing in other places in this northern tier of the battleground all through the night. Again, now up near 70%. It's very close here, about 67,000 votes. More to come out of those wow counties, and we'll see if there's anything left there in Dane. But if that number doesn't move, that's a little bit below, I think, where Democrats wanted to be there.
And we are kind of back, or I'm back. Charlie's getting up now. Oh yeah, it's a one-seater. Still here, still here. What did he say? Anything good? I missed it. I was peeing. Something about the Bow Wow. Yeah, those were his acronyms for the counties he was watching. Heard that earlier. He explained it earlier. All right, so he's out right now. Is anyone talking? This guy's talking. North Carolina, they're projecting.
What looks like we have a projected winner. This just came in right now. Okay, North Carolina, Donald Trump is the projected winner. You see the margin there, 136,000. So Donald Trump improved on his margin by back of the envelope math, 50,000 votes there in North Carolina. That's going to be a real disappointment for the Kamala Harris campaign. They had hoped that if North Carolina could be clawed back into the blue column, perhaps that would open up other paths for them out west, a Sunbelt path. It is looking like blue wall or bust. That is where it stands right now, 172 electoral votes for Kamala Harris and Donald Trump in the lead right now.
Let's go to Tom right now and talk about now what this does to Kamala Harris Harris's paths to victory.
Yeah, let's show you real quick how Trump wins, right? How we project that he wins. Robinson right now, 64.9%, 30% in. You can see how Trump's overperforming here. As we go along these rural counties, you can see Trump's numbers are increasing. 63 4 years ago, 66 tonight. We'll keep moving along here. 50%, 53%. So, Lester, you asked, how does this affect him in the race for president? Let's go back out to our big board here, the road to 270. When we started out tonight, right, the paths to victory here, Trump had 10, Harris has 9. That's because we just called North Carolina. We can't even remove it anymore. This number before we called North Carolina, Harris had more paths than Trump did. But this is essentially where we started the night. This is the way it ended in 2020, right? He won North Carolina. President Biden had won the rest of the battleground states. But this gives the Republicans and former President Trump some hope. We now move to Georgia. We're going to be looking at the vote in Georgia. But as Chuck mentioned, very, very close in Georgia. And we're going to be waiting on that vote, the full vote to come out of Atlanta in those ring counties right now. But a big win for former President Trump. It's the first battleground we're calling tonight.
All right, Tom, thanks very much.
Remember, there was some late polling in the state that came just over the weekend that suggested that perhaps Kamala Harris was surging in North Carolina, that maybe she was making gains among some of these voters. That is clearly not turning out to be the case. That said, you've seen the reporting from her campaign that they are looking at the all-important blue wall. Of course, the question is, if Georgia goes, and you and Chuck were just talking about Georgia, but if Georgia does end up in the red column, it is Pennsylvania, Pennsylvania, Pennsylvania.
Well, to that point, the Secretary of State in Georgia, Brad Raffensperger, who people are familiar with from the last election, has said on the record that Trump has an insurmountable lead in Georgia with the number of votes outstanding. So he's the Secretary of State. I think he knows what he's speaking of, but we will continue to watch.
We've got another race to call, another presidential call. This is in the state of Virginia. This call coming a little later than many people might have expected, but Kamala Harris will win the 13 electoral votes in Virginia. There's the breakdown right now, 134,000 vote difference, 84% of the vote in. That, of course, goes into the Harris column. Here's where that leaves us, the road to 270. Trump with 230 now, 40 from his goal. Harris with 185 electoral votes.
Okay, let's bring Jen Psaki in, former Biden White House press secretary, and Mark Lauder, who was joining us earlier. Jen, we haven't had a chance to talk to you. I mean, look, it's getting to be a narrower path for Kamala Harris, no question about it. It's the blue wall or bust at this point.
It's math.
Yeah, it's math.
Ultimately, look, I think that Jenna Dillon email that NBC News obtained that you've talked about a little bit tells you a lot about where the heads are of the people on the campaign.
This is the chair of the campaign.
The chair of the campaign. She was also the campaign manager when Biden won in 2020. And basically, they did not talk about it. I know NBC has not made a call in Georgia, but they did not mention that Georgia is not a part of that email. Neither is North Carolina. You just made a call on that. It's about the blue wall states, and she warns that Arizona and Nevada will take some time. What does become challenging, I think part of the purpose of an email like that is also to buck up the troops inside, the team who's been working so hard for months, that's part of it, and also to send that note to supporters. But yes, it becomes, as the path becomes narrower, there's no more margin for error. Or no more margin for something going a different way than you hoped it would. And right now, what the Harris team is doing, which happens on every presidential campaign, as you know as well, is sitting in what you call the boiler room, which is kind of an intense word to use, but that's what it's called. And they're looking at their vote goals in these counties and how the outcome aligns. And you look at everything from, did they get what they needed in the big cities? In Philly, there are some cities that haven't fully come in, so they're waiting for those. But also what the margins are for Trump, which are higher, as you've been reporting, and we've been talking about over at MSNBC, in some of the rural counties, meaning he's getting more votes there that they need to make up for in the cities. So it's a numbers game in each of these states.
But even in reliably blue states, we're seeing narrowing margins. We just saw it in Virginia. We called it. Kamala Harris won it, but I believe by a smaller margin than she did, or that the Democrats did 4 years ago. I want to show Minnesota right now, which we are calling too close to call. And this is a reliably blue state. Let me show you what the numbers look like, the breakdown. Half of the vote in. It's called too close to call. Again, when you see that wide margin, you were thinking, what are you guys talking about? It's because our decision desk is crunching the numbers. They know where those votes have come from, whether they're reliably Trump districts or reliably a Kamala Harris or a Democratic area of the state. And on that basis, they're saying too close to call. Does that surprise you?
Minnesota's a close state. It often is a close state.
Considering the vice president
that the Harris team
from Minnesota.
Too close to call.
But again, I think for them, what becomes harder and harder is as you get more vote total in.
Michael Malice just posted, or he posted 2 hours ago, who's giving Kamala Harris a bigger beating tonight, Trump or her husband? Her husband won. I just saw that.
I don't know that they're overly worried
What
about
was he running
Minnesota,
for?
but certainly, yes, would have liked to have that and Virginia in their win column earlier.
I've heard a lot from people on the
just
left
won.
who have asked over the
Who?
last several weeks,
Her
how
husband.
can this be a tie?
You said her husband just
What's
won?
your answer?
No,
I
said
would
giving her a
ask the- I would
beating.
ask the same question. I mean, I think obviously
Under the same scenario.
because obviously with the economy, with the 2/3 of the American people who think the country's on the wrong track.
Also
on
looks
the
like
immigration,
Republicans have flipped
all of the
3 House
issues
seats.
in kind of general polling, which
By the way.
suggests that this would be
Have
a runaway
they?
Yeah.
for the Republican or for the non-party.
Let's look into that. Let's look
This
at
is
these
the-
other races before we get out of here.
This is the red wave.
It's
folks.
a red wave happening right now. Donald Trump still 82% in Pennsylvania. We still have
And he's 3 points ahead.
3 points. Michigan,
Up 4 points
he's
now.
up 4 points in Michigan.
Only 41%.
41. He's up 3 points in Wisconsin, 70% in. Virginia, they called, 4 points. That ended up widening a bit there. Georgia, they still haven't called, 95% in. At least New York Times hasn't yet. He's up by 3, 95% of the votes in. So haven't totally called that yet. What do we got here? New Mexico, Arizona. Now I got Donald Trump up by 0.4 in Arizona, 53% in. Nevada still hasn't. What's Nevada doing? I never know what they're doing over there. Good Lord.
What's the popular vote at now? Should be narrowing.
Let's see here. 51 to 47.4.
Narrowed a bit there.
So we got
4.4. It was 6.
We got 4.2 million.
So 4 million vote difference.
Yeah.
Currently.
Let's see. Reuters hasn't called Virginia yet. 85% in. Let's see what we got. See if we got anything different over here. Where can we get some updates on the states, the Senate? We've got those are all the president stuff. Bear with us. We know we got 2 flips so far in the Senate for Republicans, West Virginia and Ohio.
The Wisconsin race is tight between Baldwin and Hovde.
I don't know.
1.7.
Yeah, we got 1.7. We got 70% in. So that could be a flip. That would be interesting. Nothing from Nevada. We got 13% in Montana, and Sheehy has a
16 point.
16-point lead right now. So that would be a flip also if they end up getting
Pennsylvania, there's another flip. 80% in, 2.2 points ahead. Dave McCormick over Bob Casey.
Okay. Interesting. Oh, I can't wait to listen to Breaking Points tomorrow, which I listen to every day, and hear what Crystal Ball has to say. Oh, it's going to be so good. So good.
I got to ask, how are you feeling now?
About the election?
Yeah.
I think Trump's going to win.
Now you do think Trump is going to win.
Yeah, I think I owe you $100.
And you got to eat your words.
And I have to eat my words.
On the show when.
We'll see. We got to wait and see, Where do we get the House information?
There you go. Full House results.
Oh, that's too many of them. We got
GOP
4 GOP flips.
and 2 Dem flips. So net 2 for the GOP so far.
Okay. Net 2 for Jim. There's too many dots on there. I don't like those dots. There's too
Arrows.
too
I like
many.
arrows.
Any governors flip? Anyone got that? What do we got here? I don't know. It looks like they're... Oh, okay. Let's see here. Any governors flipping? Delaware. That's an incumbent. New Hampshire, the Republican is winning. Neither one's an incumbent. Did New Hampshire have a Republican governor? I thought they had. Anyone know? Did and this is arrows. Did New Hampshire have a Republican governor? Sununu? Okay. So it looks like that's going Republican still. I don't see any flips here with the governors. Okay. So we'll move off of governors. Oh, now we're on Politico. Let's get back to those arrows real quick.
Go.
It's been a bit since I saw any arrows. Yeah, there's a lot of red arrows, not so many blue.
That's a storm.
They really, really needed more blue arrows. And if you're looking right now, what we are finding here at GML is that there's a lot more red ones. And if you're just joining us, the arrows mean a shift from 2020. And so a lot more red shifting than blue shifting, you know? And I've always, like my grandpappy used to say, you don't want to do blue shifting. And he was right, He was right about that. By the way, I got a really funny text from my sister who said, to my politically wise brother, why is there so much focus on men and women split in the election if there are 87 genders? I can only watch NBC, and they are really focusing on the men and women split and stressing it.
That's because it matters to them now.
So what about...
They know what a woman is right now.
Doesn't that fully encapsulate this election,
That's what my vote for Trump was. I'm so tired of things being run by whatever you feel in the moment.
Yeah.
Because your feelings will lie to you quite often. I've experienced that personally and in my own life, feeling a certain way about something, and it turns out my feelings were wrong. And that what's happening on the left is that they're just being ruled by feelings, whatever is happening in the moment, and there's no logical reasoning whatsoever among. And then the problem is if you don't go along with their truth, if you don't go along with how they feel, well, then all of a sudden you're the bigot, you're the deplorable, you're the garbage. They've been running on this for the last 8 years or so, with all of these different blatant lies right in front of our faces. Let's not even forget the 4 years that Trump did spend in office. He was a Russian plant. And they ran 24/7 Russia hoax stories.
I mean, the election's not called yet, but I will take this as a white pill because of all the rhetoric, all the gaslighting. I mean, there is a real problem with the gaslighting narcissist in America. And I feel like potentially, if nothing crazy happens, this is a clear refutation of all of these lies that people saw through it. The real people in America, not just the people who interact with things on X and all those crazy people out there that we talk about on Dumb Bleep of the Week, but that the real people in America said, nay, we're not going with that BS. We saw the clip. I saw that clip. Come on, quit lying about that. And that feels good to me. That is enough for me to be happy about Trump probably winning this election.
Looks like Fox News just called the GOP taking Senate control.
Okay.
So looks like now I
didn't see a Fox stream when I was going through all the streams earlier. Is there a Fox News direct stream? They have Fox Now. Oh, they're talking about
outperforming himself in North Carolina.
Demographics here. This is interesting.
Numbers. New voters. You heard Senator Rubio there talking about new voters. Nationally, Trump is winning with new voters by 7 points. Here you see.
I wonder why.
With new voters by 21
Those are the people who are
points
struggling to pay for their
North
groceries.
Carolina. So those are some of the exit poll numbers that give us
God,
an
I hate
insight
voting, but I
into
really
why
got to
he
get out
won
there
North
because this
Carolina.
shit's expensive.
Nora, I'm listening to you, John, and I'm thinking about some of the things that we have heard over the course of this campaign, and you'll have to forgive me on some of these.
We do have YouTube TV. I just got the question. You have a New York Times subscription, but not YouTube TV. We can't play YouTube TV on a stream unless someone tells me how to jailbreak that scenario. It just shows up as a black screen because they have built-in copyright protection. And so you have to turn off your hardware acceleration to do that, but YouTube TV's figured that out, and it won't play if you turn off the acceleration on Chrome. That takes away the copyright protection, but then it won't play. So yeah, we can't play YouTube TV. So I'm just down to these things. I'm trying to get a shot of someone crying. Just want to see it.
I don't see the fire starters waving in the air anymore.
No, not many American flags waving over here.
Let's go back to the Senate to see, does the Senate now, is there 51 Republicans now? They have full control?
We got 49, 41.
Called so far. Pennsylvania, I think, is close.
And then Pennsylvania, we got Dave McCormick up by 2.1 over the incumbent, Bob Casey. Michigan, we got Mike Rogers up by 2.4. And I think that, so there's no incumbent there. So I don't know whose seat they're filling.
I think Fox News called Nebraska.
Is Mike Rogers the guy that beat Justin Amash in Michigan?
I think so.
Screw that guy. Let's see. Wisconsin, we got 1.2. Eric Hovde up over Tammy Baldwin in Wisconsin with 71% in. Nebraska, we got a Republican incumbent not called yet. So, for instance, like this one's not called.
That Fox News called that one. That's
Nebraska?
what I was talking about. Yep.
Okay. So that would make 50. And then what's one that we have kind of run? We got 82% in Pennsylvania, and Dave McCormick's up. Arizona.
Montana, the guy's up, but there's not very many people leading there.
Ruben,
there not very many votes.
Ruben Gallego's winning over Carrie Lake right now in Arizona. Just she needs to stop. Carrie Lake. Everyone's decided she's too crazy. And Tim Sheehy, 14% in Montana. That would be a flip also. So yeah, it's looking like
Republicans could have 54
there's going to be
seats.
Yeah, it's not going to be filibuster proof or anything. Man, New Hampshire is slow. Lily Tang Williams is down by 3.3. Repeating, of course, to Goodlander, not Homelander. Republicans so far, they say, gained 1 seat in the House officially as far as the New York Times. But yeah, it's looking like all Republican. And listen, we're libertarians over here. I prefer Republicans over Democrats any day of the week. Pretty much any day of the week. I just don't want them to do anything crazy. I would have been fine with gridlock also. We'll see if they're going to do any reforms. If they wanted to be serious, they could actually try to reform some spending. In my opinion, Trump doesn't even have to. I know we got the whole Doge promise and all that, the $2 trillion. You realize how big of a deal it would be if they just froze the budget during Trump's term? What if Trump said, we will not spend a penny more than we spent last year? And that will be the case. I will not sign a bill. The mother frickin' government will shut down if you send me a budget that spends more money than we did the previous year. And we will freeze the budget for my entire time in office. He would do more for fixing the deficit and slowing down the growth of the national debt than we've ever seen in our, since Clinton.
Because if you estimate about a 2% growth in GDP and you haven't raised spending levels at all.
You keep stealing 17% of the GDP and you estimate a 2% growth every year. Then eventually you close the gap, you close the deficit simply by not spending more money every year. So you don't even have to cut the $2 trillion. I mean, that would be good, but you could just not spend more money, and that would be a big deal. That'd be a huge deal.
Here's an idea.
We could get more tax cuts out of that, by the way. We're calling Republicans there.
Here's an idea. What if no one paid taxes and the government just printed 15% of GDP every year?
Wouldn't be a whole lot different, And you inflate the currency a little bit. I guess we'd all have a little bit more money to pay it.
It's the same thing.
Yeah.
At least they're not directly taking it from you.
I think it is time to go to bed. Good Morning Liberty every single day of the week. We want to on your favorite podcast app, 1,401 episodes. It does look like Trump is going to win this election. We will look one last time at the forecast. We have a 91% chance of victory for Trump.
1.1 on the popular vote.
1.1 popular vote, and currently they've got Trump winning all the swing states,
which is what we had in the GML model.
In the GML model, we had 0.9.
Just want to point that out real quick.
We have 0.9.
GML model.
Yeah. We got a graph and everything.
Fed Haters Club is saying Holy White Pill Wednesday, Batman.
Tomorrow's Wednesday, yeah.
Seems like a lot of folks are happy that Trump won. I don't know that I'm necessarily happy.
I'm happy about refuting the lies. I'm happy about seeing the American people say, screw that. We're not going to be taken by all of this freaking gaslighting.
Now let's play
out of context stuff.
Let's play a hypothetical scenario. What if Elon Musk was not able to buy Twitter or overpay for Twitter? Do you think the same thing happens? Or do you think Harris wins in a landslide?
No, I mean, they would have been censoring, who knows? We'd probably still be wearing masks right now. I don't know. No, I think you are correct. Elon Musk bought this election. That is going to be that's going to be what the kids call cope.
With his ties to Putin, talking to him,
talking to Putin. Yep.
Yeah, they did it again.
They did it
again.
They're going to be full-on copium tomorrow.
How's that tweet doing before we go?
It's not good enough, everyone. I need you to go retweet this. I was very happy about this tweet. Yeah, we're not doing good, guys. We got to do better than that. That's embarrassing, actually. Yeah, we got to do better than that. Go retweet that. Maybe it's just not good. I got it, but Wait, what is that? No, I'm not trying to do that. Yeah, I gotta do better than this.
2,000 views in almost an hour. That's not enough.
That's not good. Now they can sneak up on you. They can take off later on. We'll see. Anyhow, we're going to get out of here, guys. It looks like all this stuff that we just said, it looks like Trump's going to win in a landslide, including the popular vote. Holy crap. Tomorrow is White Pill Wednesday, and make sure you show up for tomorrow's show.
They just revised the popular vote from 1.1 to 1. So it's getting closer to that.
Coming back.
Oh, they just brought down 89%.
89.
What happened?
We're losing it. We stay here long enough. We're going to see the...
Did we just get a state flip somewhere?
Nah.
I'm seeing Harris won Nebraska.
District 2, I'm assuming, right?
Let's go look.
No. Come on. No, not from New York Times. It's got to be that. It's got to be this one, Nebraska District 2.
Okay.
She was projected to win anyway.
Which is how many electoral votes there?
I think they changed the projection or the chances, the odds on Nevada. It was 64 when we last looked at it, and it's 61 now. But it's just going back and forth. It's gonna change off and on. But if Nevada, we're assuming, I mean, we're talking about him winning 61%. They're not reporting any votes right now, so we'll see. That's about it. Yeah, let's go. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us. This is really fun, and we'll see you tomorrow for what we call White Pill Wednesday.
And we'll talk about any election surprises.
Anything
that could have happened overnight.
Could be totally different tomorrow. Could be. Might be looking at President-elect Harris tomorrow when we wake up, you know? All right. We're getting out of here, everyone. Thank you all so much. See you later.
Have a good night, Liberty.
Love you. Bye.